So, upcoming cameras like Nikon Z7 III, Nikon Z80, Nikon Z4, and even the mysterious Nikon ZX are the ones people keep talking less about because they actually feel hardly possible. But there's always hope. So, in this video, we're taking a quick look at 5 upcoming Nikon cameras we genuinely hope to see in 2026, why these models make sense, and what they could bring if they finally become real. Let's jump in. The Nikon Z7 III. The camera everyone thought would define Nikon's high-resolution future. Ever since the Z7 II, fans have been waiting for a true successor. The Z6 got its third-generation upgrade, the Z8 and Z9 pushed Nikon's tech boundaries, and yet, the Z7 III never came. Why? Because Nikon's priorities have shifted dramatically. The Z7 series was built around resolution, pure image quality over speed. But after the Z9, Nikon realized that hybrid performance sells better. People want speed, AI autofocus, 4K 120, and stacked sensors. The Z6 III proves it. Nikon's leaning into hybrid shooters, not stills-only purists. So even though people expected a 60-megapixel or 70-megapixel Z7 III with Z9 level autofocus, the business case just isn't there. Nikon would rather put that tech into a future Z8 II or a Z9S, where it appeals to both photographers and videographers. Plus, with medium format competitors like Fuji's GFX 102 offering insane resolution, a Z7 III just doesn't feel special anymore. Nikon's resources are better spent optimizing the high-end hybrid zone, not revisiting a slow-selling niche. So, after knowing all these, we now get that Nikon's roadmap has moved past the Z7 concept. Their focus is on hybrid cameras that merge speed and resolution, not standalone still bodies like the rumored Z7 III. Let's talk about the Nikon Z80, the one that keeps coming back in rumor cycles like a boomerang. This one was supposed to be Nikon's answer to the A6700, or the Fujifilm X-T5, a powerful, compact APS-C camera aimed at enthusiasts and hybrid creators. Rumor had it that the Z80 would slot above the Z50 and ZFC but below the Z6 series, featuring a new stacked APS-C sensor, improved autofocus, and even internal 10-bit video. Sounds exciting, right? The only problem? Nikon kind of already made that camera. It's called the Z6 III, just with a full-frame sensor. Here's the truth. Nikon's APS-C line has always been a bit awkward. The Z50 was solid, the ZFC was stylish, but the company never went all in with APS-C performance. The rumored Z80 sounded great on paper, but Nikon's recent releases prove that they're channeling most of their R&D budget into full-frame innovation and pro-level glass. On top of that, APS-C doesn't really drive Nikon's lens ecosystem. They have a few DX lenses, but most new optics are full-frame Z-mount. Launching a Z80 would mean Nikon has to justify an expensive APS-C body without a proper lens lineup to support it. And that's not good business. Nikon isn't Sony. They can't flood the market with 10 models at once. They're selective, methodical, and focused on profitability. So even though people expected a Z80 to be the next logical step after the ZFC, the truth is, Nikon seems to be walking away from high-end APS-C entirely. Honestly, Nikon's APS-C development has stalled. With the Z50 and ZFC covering the base, there's no space or profit in developing a high-end DX body like the rumored Z80. Ah yes, the Nikon Z4. The rumored affordable full-frame, that never was. For years, Nikon fans have been asking for a cheaper entry into full-frame mirrorless. Something between the Z5 and Z6. Compact, stripped down, but still powerful enough to compete with Sony's A7C line. The Z4 rumor caught fire because it made sense. The story started right after the Z5's launch. People thought Nikon would take that same chassis, throw in a few modern tweaks, maybe a newer X-Speed processor, better autofocus, 4K 60 video, and a smaller body, and call it the Z4. The idea was simple. A budget-friendly full frame for creators, and we get it. The market seemed ready. Sony was dominating with its compact A7C, and Canon's RP was aging fast. The Z4 felt like Nikon's missing puzzle piece for YouTubers and casual shooters wanting a full frame without the Z6's price tag. But here's where reality hits. Nikon's current strategy isn't chasing low-end full frame anymore. Their focus has shifted heavily toward performance, hybrid shooters, and professional upgrades. Cameras like the Z6 III and Z9 II prove that. The entry-level market just doesn't make financial sense anymore, not with smartphone cameras getting better and profit margins shrinking on cheap bodies. Plus, Nikon's Z5 II is still selling, slowly but steadily, and replacing it with a Z4 could just confuse the lineup. That's not Nikon's style anymore. They're cleaning up, not expanding sideways. So, as much as the Z4 rumor keeps popping up, we've got to face it. It's never happening. Why it'll never be announced, Nikon has abandoned the entry-level full-frame tier. The Z5 fills that niche, and Nikon's resources are now aimed at pro-hybrid cameras, not budget experiments. The Nikon ZX rumor always felt mysterious, almost mythical. No one could tell if it was supposed to be a concept, a cinema line, or a creative side project. The story began around the time Nikon filed some new trademarks with ZX in the name. That was enough to spark wild theories. A hybrid cinema camera, a retro-futuristic digital body, or even a bridge between the Z and some new mirrorless sub-brand. Some leaks even suggested it would feature a redesigned body, maybe something modular or with built-in cooling for extended 8K recording. Basically a competitor to the FX line from Sony or the Canon R5C. But let's be real, Nikon doesn't have the resources to gamble on a whole new product family right now. Their biggest priority has been stabilizing their Z ecosystem and making their full-frame lineup world-class. Launching a ZX line would mean new tooling, new marketing, and an entirely new user segment. That's not happening. Besides, the name ZX itself was likely just placeholder text in a trademark application. Nikon often registers product names they never use just to protect them. So while it's fun to imagine a Nikon cinema hybrid monster called the ZX, there's zero hard evidence that it ever reached development. The ZX was never a confirmed product, likely just a protected name. Nikon's strategy is focused on refining the Z lineup, not creating an entirely new series. The Sony a6200, a camera that somehow got rumored, forgotten, and then resurrected again and again like a tech ghost. Let's rewind. Back in the day, the A6000 series was the go-to for beginners and hybrid shooters. The A6000 itself was a sales legend. Then came the A6100, A6300, A6400, A6500, and eventually the A6600, each improving just enough to keep people hooked. So when whispers of an A6200 surfaced, everyone assumed it'd slot right between the A6100 and A6400, offering slightly better autofocus and maybe 4K 60 video. But then Sony did something unexpected. They skipped it. They went straight to the A6700, bringing an all-new design, AI autofocus, advanced heat management, and pro-level video specs. Suddenly, the A6200 made zero sense. The rumored specs for the A6200 were always kind of underwhelming. A 24-megapixel APS-C sensor, older body design, and mid-tier video capabilities. Fine for 2019, but not for 2025. By the time Sony actually moved forward with its new APS-C line, the A6200 was ancient history. So why do people still talk about it? Nostalgia. The A6000 series had such a strong legacy that fans wanted another small, cheap option. But in Sony's eyes, APS-C has evolved into a semi-pro platform, not an entry-level playground. They'd rather sell you the ZV-E10 for casual content creation than another mid-tier alpha body. And let's be honest, even if the A6200 existed today, it would have been overshadowed in an instant. The A6700, ZV-E10-2, and FX30 all serve overlapping roles with more power, more AI, and way better design. So yeah, the A6200, it's a ghost from another era, and Sony's not bringing it back. To be fair, Sony's APS-C strategy moved upmarket. The A6700 and FX30 killed the need for any A6200 tier camera. That rumored slot simply doesn't fit their current lineup. So, which Nikon camera are you waiting for the most? Share with us in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching.